Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I have the honor of giving you the warmest welcome to this debate titled Eastern and Western Civilization. My name is Ana Karina Martinez Rueda. I will be guiding this conversation that promises to be enriching for everyone present. Today with us are Stephanie Castro and Andres Pico, defender of Western civilization, and Karen Garcia and Indira Escobar, defenders of Eastern civilization. They will provide us with their knowledge and reflection on this fascinating topic that spans centuries of human history. Announcement of the topic. Today's debate invites us to explore the differences and similarities between two great culture traditions that have shaped much of humanity history. Our goal is not to determine superiorities, but to understand the richness of both traditions and explore how their dialogue can enrich and coming present and future. Uh, Order of the debate. The debate will develop as each side answers each of the questions posed and defends the civilization that has been assigned to them. Rules. Respect for time. 2 minutes for intervention. No interruptions. Wait your turn to speak. Respect for all. No disrespect allowed. Silence mobile devices. Keep devices silent and raise your hand to request to speak. Are the rules clear?
Yes, it's
Yes.
clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Without further ado, we begin the debate. Okay. Uh, what are the most important social characteristics of the civilization mentioned? Who want to start?
Okay, I like to start.
Okay, Stephanie, you.
Okay, um, I think first, my name is Stephanie. Today, I'm going to defend the Western civilization. Right now, I'm going to talk about the most important social characteristic. Okay, I think that this civilization have a lot of important characteristics, but today I'm going to talk about the four. Yes, one is religion and spirituality. The Western civilization is very monotheistic. Yes, predominant religion like is Catholicism and Christianism. There are others like Judaism and the Islam, but in this civilization is very important Catholicism and Christianity because we a strong separation between the divine and the earthly. Other is, for example, a social and political organization. The Western civilization has political models such as democracy. Democracy is very important because the people can to choose your president, yes? And the other is liberalism, where individual rights are of the great importance. Other is, for example, economy and development. In the Western civilization, the economy is based on capitalism and industrialization, with a focus especially in innovation and technological progress. And the last is, for example, a cultural society. In the Western civilization, all the time predominates individualism, very individualist. But what an emphasis personal autonomy and individual freedom. Here, the people are encouraged to pursue their own goals and spread the opinion openly. Yes, in this civilization, the people came to talk openly, like it don't happen. For example, in the Eastern civilization, there are a lot of countries that the people don't have this opportunity to talk openly. Yes, for example, in this civilization is very important because here the people can to spread the opinion openly. I this think about this question.
Questions?
Yes.
No questions. uh, Stephanie, your information is very interesting.
Okay,
Thank
I
you.
want to talk about now the Easter part.
Yes, Indira?
Are you following me? Do you listen to me?
A little. I don't understand very well.
Oh, sorry. Do you listen to me?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you listen to me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the Eastern civilization. I agree with all the points that our partner told about the Western civilization. Um, First of all, I'm gonna talk about the five important aspects of the social characteristics, and after that, I'm going to compare two civilizations. Okay, I will start with collectivism. In terms of individualism, Eastern societies emphasize the importance of family, community, and the harmony over individual desires. Okay, they think about the whole group, not in the individual one. Okay, the second one is about the spiritual and religious influence. Religion and spirituality uh, make part of the daily life. And this spiritual part, this religion's part, influence the social structures and social practices in state. Patriarchy in many Eastern societies, traditional gender roles are more defined, with a strong emphasis on family responsibilities. Social harmony and respect for tradition is really important in these Eastern cultures because they value tradition, they maintain the tradition within the society, and they honoring the elders. Um, Hierarchy and respect for the authority is another important aspect of this civilization because they respect those relationships between, for example, in families, between parents and children, between leaders and followers. They respect this hierarchy part. If you contrast this Eastern civilization with the Western civilization, you can find that Western emphasizes in individual rights, whereas Eastern societies prioritize the group. Uh, Talking about the social mobilities, Western societies promote upward mobility through personal achievement, while Eastern societies place more value on familiar roles and stability. We can find the contrast between democracy and authoritarianism. Western civilizations offer values democracy forms, and in some Eastern societies, historically, they place emphasis on centralized authorities and rules. And the other thing that is really remarkable is that the relationship between capitalism and communal economics. Western civilizations tend to embrace capitalism, and we Eastern societies, we have blend both capitalism and state-controlled economic systems.
Okay, Indira, thank you. Are we all in agreement with our college? Yes or no?
I think that the the richest part of this is that all two civilizations are so different. In some aspects, I can agree. For example, in the part of the individualism, yeah, I like that part because they prioritize the human being. But in other parts, I agree with the thing that the the respect for the elder people, it tends to disappear nowadays in Western civilization. So I think that in some of parts of the culture and the social values, uh, it is important to keep or to maintain the respect. And it is why I agree with Eastern civilization.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for your interventions. Next, uh, what are the most important traditions in the two civilizations mentioned? Um, okay, Mateo, you or Karen?
Okay, I want you participate.
Yes, Mateo. Start.
One aspect important to the is to the Western civilization are is characteristic for the democracy, also is characterized for the individualism. Um, it characterized for the importance in the family, being this the social structure for excellence. This civilization too is characterized for experience like positive affect in their emotional relationships.
Karen, you?
Yeah,
Okay, well, talking about the Eastern civilization, I think that they are deeply rooted in some aspects like spirituality, like history, and especially community. These values they have shaped people's daily lives and they guide basically everything they do. Many costumes have survived for thousands of years, not only because they are religious or cultural, because they serve as a way to preserve their identity and strengthen some social bonds. These traditions emphasize in respect for ancestors, connection with nature, and the balance between body and mind. One of the most significant traditions that uh, they have is ancestor worship. This is more important in China and Japan, where families they honor their deceased relatives by offering food, dedicating some prayers. And this practice, what it does is reinforce the idea that the people that came before them are more important than what they usually think. There are some festivals that play a crucial role in maintaining this unity in the different cultural aspects, like the Diwali in India, known as the Festival of Lights, that symbolizes the victory of light over darkness, which is a very common concept among everyone, but they dedicate a whole festival about it. They also have the Mid Autumn Festival. This is in China. This is a time for families to reunite and appreciate the beauty of the full moon. And also the Setsubun in Japan that is celebrated to drive away the evil spirits and welcome the good fortune.
Another deeply valued tradition is traditional medicine. In the Eastern civilization, practices like acupuncture and herbal medicine, they emphasize the balance between body and mind and nature. It's not just like the modern medicine, like just treating a disease. No, they care about what's more important than that, that the mind, the soul, and they are different from these other civilizations that have abandoned their traditions because of modernization. No, they have found a way to preserve their culture, to preserve their history, all their values, and they have maintained a very strong tradition, but they have also been adapting themselves to the modern life. So it's not like they're stuck in the past. No, they have found kind of the perfect balance between modernity and their values.
Thank you, Karen. Does anyone else think differently, or do you agree?
I would like to agree. For example, in the Western civilization, there are a lot of celebration or tradition that is very important. Yes, for example, democracy in election is very important in this country because the people came to voting and participating in the different democratic process in a is something very important, a tradition for a lot of years. Yes. Other is, for example, individual celebration, like as birthdays, weddings, and personal milestone are yearly celebrated. Uh, um, Two holiday traditions. Holidays like the Christmas. The Christmas is in this civilization is very important because it's based about the religion. And for example, in the United States, celebrate one day that is very important. That's Thanksgiving. This day, the people celebrate with family and community, focus on gratitude and individual happiness. In addition, I came to see, for example, there is a strong tradition of civic and national event. Every country have a lot of national events that is very important. For example, Independence Day. These days is celebrated in several countries because this day is very important. Yes, for example, here in Colombia, we celebrate the 20th July this day because it is very important for our country. Yes, the Western civilization have a lot of tradition, but I think that these things like the most important.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
partner. You are absolutely right. I couldn't agree with you more. Other um, festivity important in Western civilization is Holy Week. For example, here in Colombia, the Holy Week is more important for the Christianism and Catholicism.
Okay, thank you, Mateo. Next, uh, what are the principal differences between the two civilizations?
Okay. For example, in the case in the Western civilization, I believe that the principal difference are there, for example, in philosophy. Yes, the Western civilization have emphasis in rationalism and individualism, while in the Eastern civilization values collectivism and balance. Yes, here are one difference. Other is politics. In the Western civilization, the Western nation prioritize democracy and liberalism. Yes, Why in the Eastern civilization or Eastern societies have historically maintained hierarchical and central system. Yes, here for example, in Western civilization, it's very important the democracy because the people can to choose the president and the different areas. Yes, but for example, you can see, for example, in Spain and England, it's very important. For example, the king and the queen. Yes, because they manage other systems. Yes, other is, for example, religion. In the Western civilization is mostly monotheistic. Yes, Christianism, Judaism, Islam, while the Eastern civilization has polytheistic and philosophic religion because they believe in a lot of things, in a lot of gods. For example, the Western civilization believe in only God, yes, and the Eastern civilization believe in a lot of gods because they have a lot of religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, Confucianism. Yes, there are one difference. Other and the last, I think that, for example, in education in the Western civilization have encouraged and creativity and critical thinking, while the Eastern civilization prioritizes discipline, respect, and memorization. I can say that about this difference between the two civilizations.
There is no doubt about what are you talking about. We are definitely, but I have some others. Um, the economic systems in Western societies, they typically emphasize in the free market capitalism, while in Eastern civilizations, they may adopt a mixture of capitalism, state control, and traditional economies. That's a big difference between this. Uh, the cultural individualism and collectivism, talking about social relationships, when certain civilizations tend to focus on the individual rights and the concept of freedom and the personal success. While in Eastern civilization, they theorize, they focus their group harmony, family, and social order. That's why we nowadays have huge problems because they have the concept of group, the concept of the order, the concept of the community is weak nowadays. As you talked before, the role of religion uh, is religion is more integrated into daily life and social practices in Eastern cultures. While in Western civilizations are more secular, um, this is more than a personal belief. Okay.
Now you hear me better?
Yes, yes.
Okay, sorry. I take a step back. Okay, I was talking about their religion. Okay, I I said that religion is integrated into daily life and in the social practices in Eastern culture, but in Western civilizations they make part of the personal belief. Okay, and uh, nowadays we as a culture we are taking some aspects like the meditation that that makes part of the religion in the Eastern society, on the Eastern civilization. That's my point.
Any other opinions or no?
No, I believe that no.
Okay, next. How did the two civilizations consider religion and spirituality? Differences and similarities. Karen? Yes, you?
Okay, well, religion in the Eastern civilization is more connected to balance, self-improvement, and spiritual harmony. These are like the basic concepts that they always talk about. Unlike religions that focus maybe on worshiping a single God, Eastern belief systems often emphasize that philosophical and ethical principles are better than strict religious doctrines. For example, we have in the Eastern, we have Confucianism, Taoism, Buddhism, and Hinduism. They all share one idea that individuals should live in harmony with the universe, with nature, and, or most importantly, with society. They have important concepts that we have adapted, like karma, which means that every action has a consequence, dharma, which is duty, and the pursuit of enlightenment. These guide people actions and help them grow spiritually through their lives. And it's not only focusing on external divine authority, like a god from for a different culture. Another defining aspect of the Eastern spirituality is how flexible they are. Many people practice multiple religions or different philosophies at the same time, and they don't see any contradictions between them. Everyone is free to practice what they believe in. For example, in China and in Japan, it is common for individuals to follow both Buddhist and Taoist teachings. It just depends on different moments on their lives. They have every right to choose what they want to follow and what they want to believe in. Despite these differences, both Eastern and Western civilizations use religion as a way to guide the human behavior and create moral societies. Eastern religions focus, as I said, on balance and personal enlightenment, while many Western religions emphasizes more in faith, on divine judgment, that there's only one God, and if you behave wrong, you're going to hell, you're not going to heaven, you're going to die, and you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life. But the Eastern society wants you to focus on the contrary. That it's more important to have balance, to be connected with nature, to your roots, and to live in harmony. That's it.
Mateo, you? Please.
Yeah. The religion in Western civilization is based on traditions Judeo-Christians. Um, on the really Catholicism, Christianism, um, so two other uh, other religions were born in en la Edad Media was um, reformed to Martin Lutero.
Okay.
Yeah,
Next.
final.
Thank you, Mateo. Uh, what is the role of a woman in both civilization in the past century and now? Differences and similarities.
Okay. For example, the role in the woman in the past in this civilization, especially in the Western civilization, in the past, the women don't have any opportunity in anything. Yes, historically, subordinate the women were historically relegated to domestic roles and then in political and educational rights. In the present, the women have legal equality in most aspects. For example, in education, right now the woman can to study like as she want. In the work, right now the woman can to get a good job. Yes, for example, you can see in a lot of women in the area in politics. Yes, you can see a lot of women work in this area, and is the woman is very important. Yes, the challenge remain regarding way gaps and representation in leadership, because the women have leaderships in several countries. Yes, I think that is like the role in the woman.
Okay, and the other person. Mm,
Okay, in the prehistory, women played a major role in the beginning of human culture as inventors, teachers, nurses, healers, and priestesses. Um, but mm, ma, uh, in the in the age made, the role of the woman was more domestic, and the the protection to the your child, and not working in other works.
thank you, Mateo. Karen, you?
Well, now talking about the role of women in the Eastern civilizations, women played a very important role in shaping families, in education, in culture. They were traditionally responsible for maintaining the family harmony, and they also influenced politics and philosophy. In China, for example, the Empress Wu Seitan, she was a powerful ruler who expanded the empire. In Japan, some women were key figures in literature, which we know is an area that is often ruled by men. But we have the example of Murasaki Shikibu. She wrote the world's first novel called The Tale of Genji. And today, Eastern civilizations are making a big progress in gender equality, in education, and economic opportunities for women. But we have to admit that this progress is slow. It's slow, but it's happening. Okay, we cannot deny that it's not happening because they go to their own rhythm. Okay, they go slow, but they are trying to go there. But it's very hard because they are very it's a society that is very centered in men. Okay, everything revolves around men, and they are trying to change that. And because they are trying to leave that individualism behind and focusing that both men and women they have unique and complementary roles in society.
Thank you for your interventions. Next, what do you consider are the most important contributions of every civilization to humanity? Why?
Okay. I think that the most important contribution, especially in the Western civilization, is that has significantly contributed to the human through advance in science, in technology, in democracy, and the human rights. Because in this civilization, is very important the human rights, yes, as well as education and philosophy, innovations, for example, in modern medicines, space exploration, and artificial intelligence have transformed global health, communication, and industry. Because in this area is very important in artificial intelligence. Yes, with other is, for example, the promotion of democracy and the human rights. Yes, this is very important in one the most important contribution, because the human rights has led to the establishment of legal frameworks that ensure equality, freedom, and social justice.
Okay, as an elder civilization, history contributes in philosophy and religion. Remember that Eastern civilizations gave birth to some of the world's most important influential philosophical and religious traditions, including Buddhism, Hinduism, Confucianism, Taoism. These traditions have shaped not only Eastern societies but also um, provided moral and philosophical guidance to billions around the world. So it is a big, big contribution. The other one is mathematics and astronomy. Ancient Indian civilization contributed to the development of mathematics, including the concept of zero and the decimal system. This is fundamental to modern mathematics. Uh, on the other hand, Chinese civilization also contributed significantly to astronomy and engineering with inventions like the compass and the early forms of printing. And to finish, to end up, architecture and engineering, Eastern civilizations, especially China and India, have contributed to the iconic architecture, like the most important example is the Great Wall of China, the Taj Mahal. Additionally, they they have advances in the irrigation systems, urban planning, and they have had a lasting impact in the world. So those were the most important contributions.
Are you finished, dear college?
Yes, I think so.
Yes, I think.
Okay, dear audience and distinguished college, uh, we had reached the end of this fascinating journey through Eastern and Western traditions. I want to express my sincere gratitude to my brilliant colleagues for the depth of their analysis and the uh, generosity with which they had shared their knowledge. Thank you very much for your attention and participation. This debate is now formally closed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.